Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and now I'd like to explain the 4 steps that's required to be able to establish the real climate and real science. The simple way to look at it is like you have a spider in a web, and I've got this drawing here showing you what I mean. The spider is the sun, the magnetic field is the web, and all the other planets are caught in that web. The planets themselves have no magnetic field of their own. It is purely a rub off of the sun. It's called a conduit. The order of sequence, number 1, to prove that this is the real climate science, and what they're talking about with their hockey stick is the amount of warming around the Earth. There's definitely warming around the Earth, but it's coming from the oceans, and it originates in the solar wind, comes in through the South Pole. There's a very high mountain near the South Pole that it's devoid of oxygen, and oxygen is an insulator, so it can't come in through the lower ridges. We're protected from the powers of the solar wind with oxygen. That's what protects us on Earth. So we're quite safe as long as that oxygen. You don't realise that there's twofold reason to have oxygen. We have it for breathing. We can't breathe without it. Every animal on Earth breathes oxygen, and we can't live without it. But another one, it protects us from the solar wind, which is toxic. It's that powerful that it controls what it does with the planets. Like for instance, the sun rises in the east within milliseconds of it did hundreds of years ago, and that is the Swiss couldn't make a watch like that. It's just so precise. This is the whole picture here. Yeah, I've been studying it for 40 years, and that's the simplest way I can explain it to the person in the street. It's so precise. Looking at this diagram, I'll go through the steps required to be able to read the sun. We've talked about it in another video, but this is the cross on the sun that I've designed, and it's all due to the hydrogen helium. The hydrogen is 13.6 electron volts, whereas the helium, where the crosses are, is 25. Now, normal days we get 13.6. But when any one of the 5 outer planets, that's when we have these weather events. That's how hidden it is. It's taken John H. Nelson to start it, and me to finish it, and that's what the key to the whole climate science. Using this calendar of the solar system, we can determine when the planets go on these specific points of the cross, and which will give us a leg into the future, which will tell us when and where the next drought will arrive. We need this chart, which gives us the orbital timing of the 5 outer planets. Using the orbital time gives us an idea when the next planet is going to be on these positions. It determines when we will know when the planets out of any one of the 5 outer planets. For example, Neptune is an unusual planet. It's almost circular, so you can take it from it's divisible by 4. There's the 4 points of the cross. Because of the orbital timing of Neptune, you can divide it by 4, because it's an even number, and it's almost circular. So then you can divide that by 4 with the 4 points to cross, and then because you know when it's going to go through where it is in the position around the sun, every 41 years. So and when you get to there's a 8-year drought built around we're at the finish of one now, and around the world we're getting flooding and so forth because it's coming out of the drought. As proof of this happening, I had the solar panels, and on a daily basis I took readings over the 3 years. It took for Neptune to go through the 164 year point of the cross, 164 degrees point of the cross. This is the three pages as proof of the energy coming from the sun. I was determined that as Neptune was going through that 343 degrees points of the cross, then I've determined that as it went through let me explain this. There's only 10 panels, 1600 watts. Yeah. So and that's at a very good day and perfect weather. And yet, as Neptune went through that cross, the readings started on the February 2017. The high readings began. It's 2,330 was the highest reading on that page. And then we go in December 2018, and the highest reading there was 2,545. They should be only reading, according to NASA, 1,600. Now that's almost double. And then it started declining as Neptune moved through the point of the cross. And the highest reading in May 2019 was 1,898. And then it started deteriorating, and now it's back to normal. It's back to reading less than 1,600. Now that's how the sun going through those positions affects the solar wind, which of course affects the Earth. It's a chain reaction. We mentioned Neptune, and I've gone back in history, and I started with 2018, which was the current one. And every 41 years, there's been a drought, a deliberating drought. There's 2018, farmers battle worst drought in 100 years. 1977, California drought affects the world. 1936, areas of intense drought. 1895, Federation drought Australia. 1854, the Great Drought of the United States. 1813, Great Drought of Journalistic Asian Society, Bengal. 1772, drought Chile, vineyards, crop fields. Now this is all around the world. No matter where you go, there's been a drought. And I've highlighted each country if I could. And then this goes back then, we go pre-industrialisation. We got beyond this date, there was no coal mined at all. So the blame on coal, the innocent coal, is blamed for all this warming. And why is that? If the warming has gone back before then, please explain. We'll go back even further. 1731, drought episodes, Western Pampas, Argentina and South America. 1690, drought, clusters of southwest Canada. 1649, global crisis war, climate change catastrophe. Now that's 1649. And I looked it up, there was 3 planets. The 3 outer planets on 6 positions, that forms a cross at the same time. And it was a terrible time on Earth. This will give you an idea of the sheer power and how it affects the Earth. People think, well, the planets are way out. How can they affect the Earth? Well, they affect the sun, and that the sun affects us. In 1608 was a Jonestown tragedy. That is now 410 years of cyclical worldwide drought episodes, coinciding with the outer planets Neptune going through intersects. It is then also 160 years before the mining of coal. Evidence that the world's Paris Accord is basically entirely on unprofessional Mickey Mouse science. Yes, these are the facts. For the first time you've heard them, and the facts are there. I can prove it. These are the facts. And what do you believe now? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.